No.
Okay. Now, where did we get to?
Anyway, that chief, he
called you off to the side.
He called me off the side, and he started to give me the right act, you know. And he cussed me out, called me every name in the butt. So he just stood there for a few minutes, and I said, sir, and he got all through. I said, sir, I said, could I get a pass tomorrow when I go to the chaplain? You got more damn guts, he said, than any person I ever seen in my life. He says, you want to pull this stuff on me and then you ask me for a pass? I said, yes, sir. And he says, I'll think about it. Well, the next morning, he come in the barracks, you know, he gave me a pass. I said, thank you, sir. So that day, you know, I went over there, that morning, 8 o'clock, you know, I went over to the chaplain's office. The chaplain said, I said, sir, I said, I'm reported to take my exam this morning. Fine, Davis. So I just went over there and he gave me this examination paper. He said, that'll take all the time you need, he says, to do it. I went ahead and I did a 2.5 and I passed the exam. He said, well, he said, you qualified to go to school. I said, sir, do you know what kind of school would I be going to? He said, well, you thought the only one I could put you in is be ordnance school. And I didn't know what ordnance was. I was dumb.
But it was a school.
A school. I said, thank you, sir. And so I went on that, and I went back over there to the barracks, and I went and turned out noon. I went back to drift him, so after that, about 2 hours later, old Walker, he said, well, where I was at? He said, did you see the chaplain? I said, yes, sir. He said, how'd you make out? I said, I'll pass the exam, sir. Good for you, Davis. And by God, I was in like Flint. I thought, now, I was good to go get something. So we went to finish boot camp, and actually we came off in our boot leave, and went to school. Yeah. I went 6 months of school there, and so I come out, and I got my wings and my little striker's badge, and I thought I was in high heaven, boy. I felt pretty proud of myself. I really felt proud of myself. And they put them wings on me, boy, and my little striker's badge, I thought that was it, boy. I was beyond the rest of them. That's why it is.
No,
I wasn't going to swap that deck tomorrow. But we did. In the service, the fly boys, combat aircraft was like we were. We did. We had a lot of privileges that others didn't have, you know. Of course, we were.
Because you had to be ready to go when you had a test.
Well, no, that. We were rated an awful lot, you know. We got more. We got more breaks than the rest of them did. We'd go right to the head of chow lines and stuff like that, and if we'd go anytime, you know, we'd be called upon to take off anytime they you see.
And didn't give more flight crewmen die than anybody else?
Absolutely. There was, like I said, there was 14 of those kids left the States, and the 3 of us got back.
Yeah.
So air is pretty short. You take the average 3-minute battle in the air, it seems like a lifetime to you. You get up there in about 3 or 4 to 5 minutes air battles, well, gee, man, that's like a lifetime to that person. They come on you from all angles, and you know your life experience ain't very much. I think pretty short. It sure is.
You know, they said the kids that were in the bombers over Europe, they lost. Was it 70% of them didn't come back?
Absolutely.
70% of them didn't come back.
You just think about how you wipe them out. I know one time we left our ship over in Ponga the boat. It was about, we had 18 airplanes in there squadron. And there was about 8 of them that day got shot out.
Those torpedo bombers? Or?
Yeah, torpedo bombers. TBM.
Those were 2-person crews?
No, 3.
3?
The radioman, the gunner, and the pilot.
And you were the gunner?
Yeah.
You know, David, did you know that he hit the water 3 times?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I did. I hit the water 3 different times out there. See. Ronnie got killed out from underneath me.
They shot him off right out.
Right underneath my ass, mate. He came from about that. Right underneath me, Ronnie got killed.
He was the radio man?
Yeah. He got killed, and a white guy shot through the leg as a pilot.
When was the first time you hit the water, David?
Well, I was one time our tail hook would come down. And the flight officer and ship and kept waving us off, you know. And I didn't know what was going on, and so first time I'm thinking, oh, I looked down, we made another approach for the ship, you know, and he kept waving us off, David. And I asked, I said, what seems to be wrong? And I was talking to Ronner underneath me, and he said, oh, he said, a telescope coming when it started coming down. And they wouldn't let you land aboard the ship with a damn telescope.
No, you just go off the back anyway or crash into
Go into the barrage, you see. So I looked down, there's this destroyer down there. I seen the destroyer down when we were circling. He's making a big wake like that, you know. He's going a big turn like that and make a wake to stick the water out. And we came in right beside of this destroyer, and we were in there. Oh, God, it was right there to pick us up. And we got aboard the destroyer, and the next morning, that afternoon, he transfers right back over to the ship.
Did you do that cable ride or were you on a boat? The
cable ride.
Yeah, the cable ride.
With that little seat they put you in, like a boatswain shirt.
Yeah.
You sit in that and they pull you across on that cable.
On the boats you're doing this.
Yeah, and your legs hitting the water, you know.
We've seen that in the movie.
Yeah. So we pull over there, and another time when we sit down and Ronner and I, when Ronner got killed, we sat out there for about at least 2 hours in the water. For the ship picked up, for the Russell, USS Russell picked us up. And it was right at night when they picked us up. Yeah.
Is that the time that Reiner got shot in the leg and you...
No, that was White got shot this time. The White got shot through his leg at that time, and that's when we got. I thought we had it that time. Because at that time that White got shot and Ryan got killed, I thought that was in my road back then. Because we was out there for about, we made a run on a ship, and we got all that flight and stuff hit the engine. We started losing all the oil pressure and everything else on the plane, I guess. And he was sending me OS to the ship. When we hit the water, then we had one of these Midwests in the back of the life raft. I never will forget that. You know, I jerked that damn thing out, and I went down through the hole where Ronald was where he got shot out through the belly of the plane. When I did, I jerked it out, and that life raft popped out. And I started swimming for that, and Isabel's pulling in that tree there from the plane. I was going for that life raft myself. I know it's all only off to that. And I looked back towards the airplane, it was nosed over, and I didn't see nobody else. And White was going down with the plane too. So I left the life raft, and I went back to the plane. I grabbed up on the wing of the plane. I was pulled up in it, and White's head was damn near on the side of the water. And I pulled down on his shirts and stuff, and I unbuckled his safety belt, and I popped his CO2 bottles. He popped up there, and when we got back up, you know, I already had mine inflated. You know, I had a hell time before them out and get down to that.
Get down to help him.
Yeah. So when I got back out and I looked for this life raft, and it was gone. He must have been putting me in your barn over there, flooded, plane. By that time, and I didn't pay no attention. When they got him out of the plane, I started swimming for this damn life raft. And I went over and got the life raft, and I inflated it, you know. It was just laying out, flopping around. So it's got a CO2 bottle in it. And I popped that, and it rolled up. And he had 2 little bitty paddles in the damn thing. And I finally got it back over where the water was floating. When I got back there, the blood was all over the water.
From Reiner?
From White.
From White?
From the pilot's
The plane was already gone?
Yeah, the plane was gone. So I was all hell. And I tried to get him in that life raft, and then, you know, one was the damnedest thing you ever seen in your life. You try to pull somebody in a life raft.
With their white clothes on.
Was
all
he
wet.
conscious?
He was conscious, yeah.
But he
was,
couldn't help you too much.
yeah, well, he was laying there, he was shot.
Lost a lot of blood.
He was just as weak as hell. So I rolled, he said, David said, lay down in the lab. He said, lay down, he said, pull me over. And I laid down and rolled him in the damn life raft.
And then sealed up his leg.
Yeah, what I did, I put a tourniquet on his leg. I took my belt off my pants, and I put it right up in his shot right through here, and I put his tourniquet on his leg. We sat there, and we on this set, and I asked White after we got in there, and he sat there for a few minutes. And I said, sir, I said, did you get an SOS to the ship? He said, yeah, I got an SOS to the ship. He said, they've probably been looking for us, he said. And he said, David, I think I think he's some first aid here. He says, he found something in that first aid kit there. I went over there, and he had this supper powder. And I think that's put his supper powder and put on his leg. And goddamn, starting to get bluer and bluer about a minute, you know.
Did you ever quit bleeding?
No, hell, that time, hell, it was always loosening out, you know. And it was about 4 hours, I think it was about 2 hours later, and it was getting dark. I thought, sure as hell, the job was going to be. When we went in there, we was about, I'd say 5 miles from the job in sleep.
And how far from your plane, from your ship?
Oh, God, I don't know the day.
20 miles?
Must have been better than that. The destroyer picked us up. Must have been at least 20 miles better.
That destroyer was pretty gutsy to get that close to Jeff. And
Yeah, and he came in right dark, and I thought sure as hell Jeff's coming to pick us up. You know. So when I seen that American flag, boy, on that back of that damn ship, they come and picked us up. And so they, about midnight that night, they only got a corpsman for these destroyers.
Right.
They don't have no doctors. So that night about 12 o'clock, when we got back near the ship, when we got back to the fleet, they transferred White over to the Hornet. They left me aboard that destroyer.
They moved in with a copter, or they moved in with a...
No, they moved him with a stretcher.
Uh-huh.
And so anyway, they got him over there in the ship. So I stayed aboard the destroyer.
Did White keep his leg, or...?
Oh yeah, he kept his leg. And they sent him up to Hawaii. Well, when we got back in, they kept board ship till we got into New Caledonia. And they transferred him to a hospital there, and then last time I heard him, he was in Hawaii. And he got well.
Tell David when you met White again after you got separated.
Oh, when I got back to the States, the ship was sunk. And I got transferred. I came back to the States here. And I stayed in the States for about, I guess 3 months or something like that. And I got my orders to go to Alaska. So one afternoon, I was acting chief up there in Alaska, and I was in charge of these 120 guys up there in the DS-49 squadron up there, and I was in charge of it. And one afternoon, this my commander, he told me that there's going to be 3 airplanes. We had to put them up overnight, you know. Up there, there was going to 3 planes going to ADAC, and it was cold and all bloody hell up there, you know. And that afternoon, I was supposed to put these 3 planes up. These 3 planes came in. So I was out there directing the planes in, you know. When they come in, you get partial, you know. So he'd point your wheel or lock a wheel, you know, and he'd turn his ass around and line them up with the other planes. And so he was last when the land, so I was out there, and I formed this wheel, and, you know, lock his brake to bring his ass in, and I motioned him to turn it around, you know. Said that he just locked one wheel, and he just kept going around and around. All that loose snow was going all over me. You know, he pulled out words come out of me, you know.
You didn't know who it was.
I didn't know who the hell he was. He recognized me.
Yeah,
And boy, he was just giving a damn treatment out there. So when he stopped the plane, he parked across me. He didn't ride it up, he didn't park across it. Then he cut the engine and jumped out of the plane. He run over with me, and he run back behind the plane. He grabbed a handful of snow and he was running for me. His wife.
You could tell then?
Yeah. Yeah, he was from Indiana. I never forget. He was a nice person.
He wasn't a southerner, Dave? He was from Indiana?
Yeah. He started putting his stone down my shirt collar. Now, he had to be someone I knew, you know.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, I didn't know he had his flight, you know. And, he damn you, he said, I finally caught up with you. He said, about 2 years later, you know. So we went into the hangar.
By the way, what was his rating then?
Was full commander. He had 3 full stripes. I mean, he was a lieutenant commander, you know, a lieutenant when I left him. And he was a full commander then, you know. He had these scrum legs up there, you know. Well, Martin was my commander up there, David. He was just a lieutenant, you see. So, White, now we went up to the ordnance, in the ordnance department. Now we had a bunch of coffee on this. So we sat there drinking coffee, and these other pilots was in there, you know. But they're supposed to go to the officers' quarters, you know, to report to the commanding officer, you see. And these other two officers went down to the hallway and they went to the Moffin's office there. And White was up there bullshitting with me, see. And so about that damn time, Moffin, he walked up the hallway there and he says, "Who's in charge of this flight?" He says, "I am." Because he didn't have his hat on and nothing. He had his arm around me, you know. He says, Moffin, he says, "You guys must know each other." "Yeah, we know each other," he says. And so we sit down and bullshit, and so he says, and then Moffin, he says, "Who's in charge of it?" He says, "I am." He said, "You're supposed to report to me, not to Davis." You know? And he said, "Well, I'll report to you when I get around to it," he said. He said, "I'm Commander so, and he says, I'm in charge of this sport, I'm Lieutenant so-and-so." He was saying, "Duck it, I just, he said, yeah, I'm Commander so-and-so." I was so busy fighting, it's like a accordion. He said, "I'll get around to you later." He said, "Yeah." But boy, him and I mean, we all went to his office quarters up there with it that night. Oh, yeah.
And they didn't want you in there either, but...
No.
If he don't come, I don't go either.
No, we went in together, you know, and I told him, I said, "Why, I can go in an office quarters." He said, "Hell, you can." He said, "Hell, he did." Hell, he said, "I don't think there's anyone around here on that lake." You know what, and we went in the officer's quarters, and honest to God, we had every one of them down pilots sitting on our table. And he went, the White told him about all our experiences and stuff together. Boy, Matt day on, David, has life changed for me. Look at it.
Finally, you look at how you've done.
That it really changed. And not on that, David, they had me on radio up there one night, talking about my experience in the service, what we had to go through in the Southwest Pacific. The chaplain up there wanted me to talk with the radio one night, and he asked me questions just like you are now. And I explained in the hotel how well off they were up there in Alaska because they didn't have to live on a junk quarters and on these all these stress of life all the time like we had to go to live out there. You know. I didn't know how well off they were to be up there in Alaska. It was a morale speech, what it was, you know. And this chaplain, I was on there about 45 minutes, an hour. He was asking me questions about my experience. They want to know about the Doolittle crew, and they want to know my experience when they've been in the Southwest. I experienced that our ship was getting sunk and the battles we had been into and all this. So it was a morale builder for those guys up there, he said. But everybody up there then, they had kind of respect for me afterwards.
You know, David, did you know that he was on the Hornet when that little thing went off that night? I think that's something to be proud of. I really do.
Yeah, that was a big history-making. That was a big chunk of history.
The only closest thing I got to, I seen the movie, you know what I mean?
That the experiences I've been through, you know. You know, when I went up for first class petty officer, Dave, when I went up for first class petty officer in the Navy, they gave me an oral examination. I put in my practical factors, you know, that's just something like a test. When you put in your practical factors, so you're able to go for the exam, you know. Well, I was taking an oral examination, and they gave me my first class petty officer examination. And that went from there to acting chief when I was come back to the state. And they put me in charge of that squadron up there, see. After all this, well, you see, now I just went right up the damn ladder, right past like. When I hit the States, when my time was up when their squadron broken up in Alaska, when I got back to the United States, I went as an A&R at Sandport as an inspector.
What's A&R?
A&R, that's the hangars, that's at the Sandport, that's what it used to work on airplanes and stuff. And that's what I was, an inspector out there. When I had there, you know, and Mr. Stern, the one I went to shot and watch and put up that air station down there, you know, with, before I went to Alaska, I set up that air station there at shot Washington before I went to Alaska. And when I come back to the States, I run into him, you know, and he said, "Dave, where you got your orders yet?" And I said, "No, sir." He said, "Well," he says, "you type that you come down to A&R," and he said, "Be an inspector." I said, "Sir, I don't make any difference as long as I get stateside duty." He said, "Well, you got the job." So I was an inspector now. And I had a white side job. I had made it. like a damn bullet got on me. Yeah, I was the first part. I was ready the first 12 guys got discharged December. Yeah, they called me in personnel and they asked me if I want to ship over or go back overseas. And I told them, I said, yeah, go back overseas. They said, yeah, go back on and release somebody else over that wants to get out. I said, well, write it out.
That wouldn't seem fair to me since you spent so much time over there.
3 years overseas.
You were on the, I didn't know that, you were over there 3 years.
Yeah, I was 2 years in the Southwest Pacific. And I spent 15 months in Alaska. So,
And if you would have signed up again, then back over there?
overseas.
Oh, the war was over?
Yeah. I couldn't see it.
Another thing too, Dave, you didn't know it, but you didn't belong to the regular Navy, you went in as a reserve.
I was in reserves, yeah.
So they would strip him of part of his,
Well, everybody shipped over, Dave. I was a chief petty officer, and I was first class petty officer at the time. But as I can cheat, but what they would have done is brought me down to first class petty officer. I'd have shipped over in the regular Navy.
Really?
Yeah. That's too much, it's too much drop.
I was gonna do that, huh?
just so many things that, you didn't know if you went to the regular Navy.
Bye.